it's valuable for us to know that this moment, this time, this season, this condition that manifests all sorts of cause and effect that we call our life is perfect, complete, as is right now. But saying this is just theory. It's theory that's valuable, and yet it's theory unless and until we open ourselves to this moment. And until we notice when we, so to speak, avoid this because of some story hindrance, when we do not open to this moment as is and live out of that in the sense of responding, but instead believe our stories, believe our conceptions, our discriminations, as we say in the Heart Sutra, about this and that, whether we call them so-called deluded thoughts or call them things that are hindrances or give other names like reactive anger or greed or confusions. But those aren't where we have to put our attention, because those are broad conceptual categories, useful especially in speaking of generalities, but it's always in the specifics. As we know, in formal practice and in informal practice, we know this when we notice what and how we're caught up in something, what and how we're clinging to something, what and how we're going off, so to speak, somewhere, going off into a story about this, so we miss the truth because we're not opening to the way this truth moment is. We could say opening to the source of this moment, which is exactly our life, or not opening to what needs to be taken care of because we have a reaction to it, whether it shouldn't be this way, I shouldn't have to deal with it, I should be able to do something about it, this isn't the way I should feel, be, have, etc. The Heart Sutra, we speak of gain and loss that we become entangled in. We speak of the various other categories where we believe there are hindrances to living this, what the Heart Sutra calls this prajna paramita, or living this perfect moment of Buddha nature, if I use that word, this perfect manifestation of cause and effect of the conditions of right now, this body-mind universe. Our opportunity is to manifest, give rise to, as I used the expression last week, give rise to the truth. I was quoting Shakyamuni Buddha, which then various ancestors quoted. Give rise to the truth of who and what we always are, which is what the Heart Sutra says, which is what enables us to be, quote, far beyond deluded thoughts, far beyond fear. Not that fear doesn't arise, but to see it for what it is enables us to live as we are, or to notice what gains and hindrances we're believing we don't have or we need to take care of, what fears we're holding on to, not as something which arises. Fears arise just like all sorts of other causes and conditions. And yet, these arising causes and conditions are the perfection of the universe that we are, if we're not holding on to our ideas about them, if we're not caught up, or if we're not blinded by our reactions to them, so that we can do what's called for. We could do what's called for from the perspective of, if I say it that way, or from the mind of seeing the emptiness of those conditions. Therefore, we could take care of it. If we see those conditions from our experiencing of this moment, then we could do what's called for without being blinded by our beliefs of what's lacking, or our beliefs of what shouldn't be. Our stories, noticing our stories, then we take care of it. Noticing what's needed, and yet we take care of it as without loss, without gain. I know many of you have heard me say before, bring up before, the quote from Suzuki Roshi where he says, "You're perfect as you are, and you can use improvement, or you can improve." That's what giving rise to the truth by opening to the source, opening to what we are. Then we give rise to the truth of who we are. Then in all directions, we can take care of what's needed. Because we see that all directions are exactly this manifestation of cause and effect called Buddha nature, of time, conditions, causes, which is perfect for us to manifest and live prajna, or prajna paramita, to live even what we think are hindrances, if we see them as what they truly are, they're no hindrances. They're not a fear that blinds us, but a fear that enables us to live this experiencing as it is, even when those arise. It's not that we should go somewhere else, but when we say the emptiness of all the conditions, we're talking about the nature of who and what our life is. And if we And that's what we're doing when we do Zazen. And that's what we're doing when we're living Zazen. We're being this experiencing and responding in a way to the best of our ability to be skillful with it, to skillfully manifest this wisdom that we are. The specifics are all up to us, because the specifics of cause and effect that is our life is ours. And yet, if we can live in a way that sees the thoughts as what they are, then we're not caught by their delusive qualities, by their qualities. I'm going to gain if I do it this way. I'm going to lose if I'm doing it that way. He's the cause of the problem. That's the cause of the problem. In all directions, we can do what's called for. We can cease looking for a truth outside and then see that the truth of the universe, the truth of the Buddha's teaching, the truth of who we are, is right here. We open to the truth that this life that we have right now is it, and is our ability to be it, even being it that doesn't feel like what I think I want or should be or shouldn't be, but rather is it in the sense that this is our opportunity to live, respond to what's needed right now. That's whether we look at the Heart Sutra, we're talking about relieving suffering so-called for ourselves, and relieving suffering so-called for others. So we see, what is it skillful to do? How is it skillful to deal with this moment complaints, this moment beliefs, this moment criticizing? And that's what all of us are hopefully able to see as our zazening practice. It's very simple. Being this moment, opening to this experiencing moment, which is your particular manifestation of the universe, your body-mind experiencing. And you have it. You are it. And all we have to do is be willing to be it, as opposed to holding on to our attachments, fears, and reactions to it, are in the various forms. Good. So I hope you all have a good week and are able to embrace whatever arises in your life and make good use of the universe, of the no gain, no loss universe that doesn't hinder you, but rather supports you in giving rise to the truth, to the source of the whole 10 directions, which will then support you in being the whole of this one. Thank you.